In some places around the world, especially in the good old US of A, a public transportation concept started to gain steam again: individualized mass transit. The concept is simple, trying to combine the efficiency of mass transit with the individual aspect of private cars. However, when we take off our neon Epic 420 Tech Bro glasses and actually look at it for what it is, individualized mass transit is, in most cases, a laughably inefficient mode of public transportation. In this video, we'll look at individualized mass transit, its pitfalls, and why it's the bad choice in most cases. Before the video starts, please consider subscribing, it helps a lot. Thanks, and onto the video. The idea of putting people in small cars, or pods as tech bros insist to call them nowadays, is not new. In the 1970s, such a system was opened in the college town of Morgantown, West Virginia, connecting 3 campuses of West Virginia University and the city's downtown. The system utilizes 16-person, autonomous, computer-controlled pods capable of operating in different modes. In periods of expected high demand, the system operates like a traditional public transport system, with vehicles coming and going at set times. During off-peak hours, the system operates on a dynamic basis, where vehicles are requested by passengers on demand. Passengers select where they want to go, and after a set amount of time, a vehicle comes and takes the passenger to their desired destination, without any intermediate stops. The system is capable of express service like this, because the stations are all built with this type of service in mind. For what it's worth, the Morgantown PRT does its job, transporting faculty and students around the campus and to the city center, fairly well. Recently, it has been running into some reliability issues, just because of how old the original system is, but thankfully, it is getting renovated in the near future. An argument could be made that something like a local tram service could have brought better service. However, in my opinion, for its intended purpose, the PRT is a fine choice. The key distinction between the Morgantown PRT and something like the Vegas Loop, which we'll get to later, is that the aforementioned PRT isn't trying to be a fully fledged, city-wide public transportation system. It was built with one purpose in mind: to solve the traffic problems stemming from transporting the students and faculty of West Virginia University with buses. For limited, localized transportation problems like this, solutions like the elevated, automated PRT system isn't the worst choice. In my opinion, something like an automated light metro or a tram, for which we have the technology now, would be a better option in most cases, but fine. However, in recent times, we're getting proposals way more silly than this. The reasons why I think the Morgantown PRT is okay are: 1. It solves a localized transportation issue. In the aforementioned case, the issue of transporting West Virginia University students and staff. It serves a single, high-demand route, so the potential for traffic jams caused by intersecting routes is minimal. 3. The system doesn't pretend to be the end-all, be-all solution to traffic congestion in the city. It was intended to be built as a people mover for the university, and that's what it is. To be clear, I still think a light metro or a tram would be a better transport solution for this single, high-demand route, but for what it is, the Morgantown PRT is a fine transport choice. In recent times, tech bros saw this concept, but decided to throw all the good things out of the window. That's how we get ridiculous projects like the Vegas Loop, the absolute antithesis to what makes something like the Morgantown PRT a viable choice. First, unlike the PRT, the Vegas Loop is supposed to be a city-wide public transportation system. These systems usually operate with high-capacity vehicles, like buses or trains, to serve the transport demand of the population. So far, the Vegas Loop uses Tesla cars, each with a human driver, with a whopping passenger capacity of 5 people. A far cry from the tens of people a bus can carry, or the hundreds of passengers that a light metro train can carry. Defenders of the Vegas Loop claim that the human drivers will eventually be replaced with automation, but that doesn't solve the capacity problem. Carrying 5 people in a vehicle is just not enough for a city-wide public transportation system. According to the Boring Company themselves, in its final form, the loop will be able to carry 90,000 passengers per hour. I sincerely doubt that figure, at least without having to dig hundreds of miles of sewer pipes for cars, for a simple reason. 90,000 passengers per hour is a lot. I doubt that many people can be served with 5-person Tesla cars, or even the 16-person pods that the Boring Company proposed originally. To achieve such a capacity, larger vehicles like trams or light metros will probably be necessary, simply due to the inefficiency of running small, individual vehicles through narrow tunnels. Public transportation in Las Vegas and Paradise could be so much more, like an automated light metro or a tram running through the boring company tunnels. But already scarce funding is being taken up by pipe dreams like this one. Now, we can call the loop for what it is, a ridiculous tech bro wet dream. But we should ask ourselves the question, why do these individualized, pod-based transportation systems seem to be more prominent than ever? I want to preface this section with a quick disclaimer. These assertions are my personal opinions. While I will provide data for my claims, such as that society is more atomized than ever, I ultimately don't objectively know why these individualized transportation systems are on the rise. Over the last 20 or so years, society has become more atomized, hyper-individualized, and less social. Social atomization is on the rise, everyone is more lonely, and communities are falling apart. There are numerous factors to blame, like technology, social media, the economy, and more. Undoubtedly, one factor is the way we plan our cities and transportation. Cities, especially in North America, have become more suburbanized, with a large part of the population living in their own personal fiefdom, in the form of their very own McMansion. Transportation has also become hyper-individualized, with the vast majority of commuting in North America happening in a sterile, climate-controlled, 2-ton box, secure from any interaction with the outside world. This point specifically also has been exacerbated by the rise of SUVs and pickup trucks. Everyone wants to have the biggest, baddest, most threatening car to reinforce this feeling of safety. Not to mention the US government's support of this rise with lowered emission standards for SUVs and pickups. I think these individualized transport system plans are, at least in part, a consequence of our current hyper-individualized society. It sounds nice in practice, combining the efficiency of transit with the individual aspect of cars, but unfortunately, you really can't have both. The word mass in mass transit is there for a reason. Combined with this, billionaires like #1 tech bro Elon Musk have reached an unprecedented level of wealth, holding more wealth than actual nation states. Wealth at such unprecedented scale allows for these people to literally buy political power, and to impose their own personal will on society, as we've seen with Elon Musk and the second Trump administration, before Musk threw his little hissy fit. We shouldn't let people with more money than sense dictate how our cities and transportation infrastructure should be planned, because they don't have your best interest in mind. They care about one thing, profit. There is a reason why only Tesla cars are allowed in the tunnels of the Vegas Loop, and not something like a tram, which would be infinitely more efficient. There are ways we can make our transportation greener, more socially inclusive, faster, and more convenient. Stuffing 5% electric cars into glorified sewer pipes is not one of these. Anyway, thank you so much for watching to the end. You're a real legend. If you'd like to support my work, I have a Ko-Fi page with 3 membership tiers, all of which bring you sweet benefits, like early access to my videos. I'd also like to take this time to thank Monday's Last Brain Cell for supporting the channel with the top membership tier. I can't express how grateful I am for the support. Enjoy the bloopers, this has been Tramley and I'll see you next time. Bye! For limited, localized transportation problems like this, solutions like the elevated, automated PRT aren't the worst choices that... Brother! Combined with this, billionaire... Come on, brother. Because they don't have their best... Am I being serious, bro?